Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And I know a lot of questions, or a lot of videos have been coming out based off of Chad McKinney's questions that he's been answering here lately. Mark Abent has also been answering a few, so I thought I would go over a few of those questions that he's been answering on Spectrum. If you didn't know it, the devs post answers to a lot of different things on Spectrum on occasion, especially in the Ask the Devs category. So if you have a burning question that you want to get answered, you can always go to the Ask Devs section and ask it, and maybe they'll answer you. So Kara Def asked this question: do the devs use rubber duck debugging? Like, do any of the devs in Star Citizen use rubber duck debugging? If so, what do you see, or what do you use as a rubber duck? I know it's not particularly related to Star Citizen, but may generate some fun conversations. And Divi from CIG, first response, my colleagues, with a big smile. Further down, Chad McKinney says, Mark Abent famously has a literal rubber duck on his desk for exactly this. But yeah, rubber ducking is very common, and oftentimes I'll have someone call me or walk over and ask me a question only to stop themselves halfway through and say thanks, then walk off. And then Mark Abent, right after that, responds, I love my rubber duckies. They have helped me solve so many bugs. And then later on, it's so easy to get stuck in the cycle of thoughts or become stuck on how to sort out a set of problems. Talking to a coworker or another person might bring up a new idea as you explain the problem to another person. The trick is just to get you to explain your problem out into the world rather than in your head, so it can spark a new idea or other creative solution. Oddly enough, just the thought of explaining it to someone else is sometimes enough to trigger an idea or thought that you never had before. Further, using an inanimate object like a rubber duck has the same effect. I had, now they are home with me, a few rubber duckies at my desk that I would share to other coworkers whenever they got stuck. It's amazing how effective the technique is. I would also walk around the office talking to the rubber ducky as I get coffee. So they exercise rubber duckies quite a lot. So maybe that's a good way for you to solve some of your problems at home. Use the rubber ducky effect. Maybe it'll work. Seems to work for them sometimes. Okay, so we had another question that needed to be answered. It was a question regarding radar and scanning from Dell. Hello, I'm hoping you can help with some additional information on this subject. What are the differences between radar and scanning? Does scanning rely on the radar for its range, unless there's a dedicated scanning suite like on the Terrapin? This comes from a discussion regarding what makes a good command and control ship for a fleet. The Polaris is slated to have capital class radar, which will be a long-range passive scan. But will the scanners have the same range for actively detecting ships that may be running stealth, or will the greater range allow the radar to detect stealth ship from greater range, though not maximum range, just by being more powerful to begin with? Thanks, Dell. This is a fantastic question that is going to... radar scanning is going to be a full-time job on capital ships. Really, I mean, it's going to be important. Super, super important. So I'm glad somebody asked this question, and I'm even more happy that Mark Abent decided to answer it. So first part of his answer, and there's multiple, by the way, we are making a lot of behind-the-scenes changes to radar, ping, and scanning, so I can help clarify the terminology for the immediate future. The radar is responsible for passive finding and tracking contacts just by being turned on. Ping actively finds additional contacts or highlights volumes of space to investigate weak signatures. And scanning is used to obtain information about a specific entity. Scan requires a contact to be on radar before it can unlock information about it. The scanner will have the ability to perform an active detection on the contact, so it will appear on your radar as you scan it. Passive detection is a signature detection by just having the radar on. Active detection is signature detection requiring the player to perform an action like ping or scan. You can see contacts further out, but that allows contacts to see you further out as well. Very good information. Capital ships have stronger radars, so their passive detection can see things much further out than smaller ship, but it really depends how strong the ship's radar or ping is. To be stealthy, a player can use the following: be within the vicinity of a large ship or entity, or ship entity emitting a stronger signal to mask your own. Or you can turn down your emissions enough to be hidden by ambient signatures, including nearby emissions of stronger ships or an asteroid field or gas clouds. You can still be found with a ping. The person doing the ping would light up like a light bulb, so you would know the hunt is on. We are also working on UI display to show your emissions versus the ambient emissions. This will help you gauge how stealthy you are. Now, in response to answering that question, Joe Run, who does the 890 or the Jump Club stuff, you can definitely check his stuff out on YouTube. But he says, "Wow, thanks, Abent. Good to hear from you. What about dedicated exploration scanning stations like the Aquila 600i Explorer, Carrack, and the 890 Jump are supposed to have? We always thought they were totally separate items for very long range and more specific scanning types." So his answer is, howdy, Joran. Radar and ping are going to combine into a single item, but the scanner will remain a separate item. The next batch of updates would more or less provide these type of scanner with a longer range of retrieving information. Scanners unlock information based on the signature resolution. There's fall off, ambient, modifiers, etc. So if you have a poor scanner, then you may have to get really, really close to unlock all of the important enough information compared to a better scanner that allows you to unlock the same information further out. Further updates to the exploration scanners will come thereafter as we need to handle jump point discoveries and other points of interest. Whitesnake asks, Mark, will having the radar on or having a larger radar result in increased emissions for the ship? What improvements are being made to the pinging mechanic? I don't like the animations and it's pretty buggy and clunky. Also, we noticed that no matter what the ship's signature is, detection range is usually limited to around 15 kilometers. Is there a plan to change this? Thanks. So his answer to that was, howdy, Whitesnake. Both passive detection and active detection will require power. The power received by the radar has a direct impact on its capabilities. The act of using power results in higher emissions, and the act of ping results in higher emissions. I'll leave it up to the designers to crunch the numbers. The ping visuals are getting a major overhaul, like a major overhaul. The current limitation is going away to some degree. You will be able to passively find things out further than 15 kilometers, but those objects will need to be streamed in on your machine, and assuming the signatures are strong enough to be detected at those ranges by your radar. Research is going to determine efficient ways to provide further out passive contacts without the need of streaming in those entities, but it may come in at a later point as the technology changes. Ping will also allow you to find things further out, as it will be able to detect things streamed out. So it's very interesting answers to all those questions, really. I do appreciate Mark Abent stepping up and answering a few questions. As you know, like I said, Chad McKinney answered a bunch as well. So definitely check those out on Spectrum. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do a similar video with Chad, with his answers, Chad McKinney's answers to a bunch of the questions that were asked here recently. I know there's other folks like Board Gamer and even, there's been a couple people, Montoya. They've all done the whole answers by Chad McKinney, but I thought I would address Mark Abent's answers because we all miss Mark Abent from Bug Smashers, right? If you ever never checked out Bug Smashers, it was in Around the Verse. One of the shows that they did a few years back. Just a little segment where he smashes bugs from, horrible code or messed up code, or just stuff that got messed up from code that they put in. It's really interesting, you know, especially if you're into coding and game design. You kind of got some really good insight on how they go about fixing those little bugs or major ones. So guys, thank you for tuning in to the video again today. You guys rock. You've been really helping me out a lot lately. You've been watching these videos, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you to all my Patreon and YouTube members for your endless contribution and sponsoring me. I really do appreciate that. You guys can't know how much it's helped me over the last few months. So thank you so much. If you guys want to be a member of either one of those programs, you can do that in the description down below. I think I'm going to be doing some private videos and stuff for those members in the future, time willing, and that way you get something a little more special for what you're putting into it. I think you deserve at least that, at the least. So yeah, that's part of my plans in the future. So guys, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed before. The channel's really growing right now, and I want to keep that trend up. Thank you so much. If you are new to the game and you want to get into the game, you can actually use my referral. That's going to be in the description down below as well. I am almost to 100 referrals. I want to be to 1,042. So we have a little ways to go, but thank everybody who has referred in the past, and thank you guys who are going to be using my referral in the future. Once again, I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.